5:15, I will call the meeting to order on December 6th, 2022. Jane, you want to do roll call?
Shaven.
Present.
Kroger. Here. Bielenberg.
Here.
Lindberg.
Here.
Rudolph. Here. Thank you.
And we've all been presented with an agenda that was amended a little bit yesterday with some of those numbers. You guys, I saw those, got those, some extra items that were added on there. And you can state your conflicts along the way, per what we've done in the past. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Can we approve the agenda?
No, we want to approve the agenda. There's a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Rudolph.
Roll call Shaven. Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you.
Now you can state your conflicts if you want to along the way. Under the consent agenda, these are all passed under one motion and after a roll call vote. We have the minutes from November 15th council meeting, the minutes from the November 16th budget, capital, and project planning meeting, the minutes from the November 29th council work session with the supervisors, the minutes from the December 1st, 2022 council work session with supervisors, the claims list, number 1279, the amount of $547.85. Under those, there were some sizable ones there. Taxi lane from the airport. Catalyst grant was more of a pass-through, right, Jane? Where we
Yes,
got it.
that's
We were just
correct.
holding the money for, we released
Yes.
that to Jerry.
Yep.
Exchange Street stabilization, that was the final payment then for
Yes.
down there. Bond fees, and then State-Built's crack fill stuff that they did this summer, fall. And then a few of the ones that were added on yesterday. Pickup for the police department.
The Ford,
Ford
Explorer. Yeah.
And then a tank, which we were getting, I guess we got, or they got it.
Right, for J.J. Jensen.
For the park down at the Old Diamond, which is hard to find evidently. They were
Right.
scrambling to find one of those.
A water tank, right?
Yeah.
Not a
For
tank.
storage.
A water tank. Oh, no.
You know,
A water tank, yeah.
Didn't want to sit down there in Centerfield.
hold water for next summer when that all happens again. So,
Good deal.
and then the Shield software
Shieldware
upgrade.
that we
through-
discussed.
Yep.
Mhm.
So those are all things that were kind of the larger amounts. So.
Yep.
And then Harlan Fire Department payroll. That's the annual payout for everybody.
That's correct. We do that in December, first meeting in December for the fire department. That total was $31,455.
Yeah, which you look at the names and you look at the calls and the number of times that they spend. That's not, hours. That's just times they show up. And they could be there 10 minutes. They could be there 10 hours doing whatever they're doing. And so we're getting a lot of bang for our buck there as far as what we're paying them. It's like, it's 15 for this year. We're talking about maybe up in that
To
in the next
18.
budget to 18 next time, next year, budget year. So you can kind of see that's well worth the money we're spending for our fire department. And then last is the renewal application for Hy-Vee Food Store Class C beer permit and Class B wine permit. Any questions, or I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Kroger, second by Shaven.
Roll call Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you.
Moving on to other business under ordinance 2022-07 is amending Chapter 129 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Harlan pertaining to the hotel motel tax by amending subsection 129.05 titled Restriction on Use of Revenues. And this is the first reading of this ordinance.
Correct.
And we've all had a chance to kind of look at it. We kind of talked about it. Jane, do you guys want to add anything to this, I guess? Do you guys want any more discussion or questions about it? About what's happening?
I'll be happy to just make a couple of brief comments. Again, I apologize, I'm a little under the weather, so can't be there in person tonight. I did include in your council packet a memo to provide overview. We discussed this at a few previous sessions. I know Sharon is our liaison, Sharon Kroger as councilperson and vote on the Hotel Tax Committee. In summary, the changes are three: reducing the membership of the committee from 7 to 5, changing the fiscal agent from the county auditor to the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is similar to what it was back in 2012, and then use of the funds. Presently, 100% of the funds go to support tourism and advertising and promotion of tourism, and the recommendation is instead of passing 100% of that through, providing 50% of that from the city of Harlan for promotion of tourism, which would allow the remaining to be used for parks and park improvements, which our main one right now is a dream playground new master plan.
Anybody have any questions for Gene about that? Because again, this is the first reading, so there will be 3 total. So I'd ask for a motion then to approve first reading of ordinance 2022-07.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Kroger.
Roll call, Shaven. Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up is Resolution 2516, for a resolution of appreciation for years of service. And I think there's just one, Jane?
Yep, we just
Roger?
had one this year. We had several last year, but
20 years for Roger?
Yep.
Beeson?
yes.
And we saw the breakdown, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30, and goes up 50, 75, and 100. So his would be $100
Correct.
for being here with us for 20 years. So
Yep, and we appreciate all his years of
yeah,
service.
he wears a lot of hats
Yep.
in the fire department and slash whatever else Roger does a lot. So appreciate his 20 years of service. So is there a motion to approve that?
Motion.
Second.
Again. Go ahead, Gene.
I think it was Richard.
Richard?
RJ, you made him.
Or RJ?
He seconded. Judas,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I tried to second it.
Okay, that was like
I
10
got
minutes
you.
ago.
I wrote him down.
Okay. All right. You got the first and the second, Lindbergh
Yes.
and Rudolph?
Roll call, Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up is resolution number 2517 to enter into a farm lease and agreement for wastewater treatment plant sludge distribution. And I see we do have the person involved in this. Mr. Jeff Hunt is here in the council chambers. I don't know, Jeff, I think Gene invited you to come and put a face with a name.
Yep,
And
just the name, if there's any questions.
any questions that the council had for him? I think we've all kind of discussed this a little bit and looked at it and ready to, needs to be a change to what we've done in the past, looks like, with a different person, so. Gene, anything to add to that?
If I might, Mayor, would just like to add a comment that as we've worked with a longtime tenant and landlord, with Todd and Lori Larson, changes were being looked at and came to an agreement with the new tenant and landlord with Mr. Jeff and actually Jeff and Carla Hunt is who the agreement's with, and really appreciated the working relationship up to this point. And just for the public, and I know I've shared this with the council, is it's very valuable to the city to have land within a close proximity of our wastewater plant for applying our liquid sludge. And so that certainly narrows the opportunity of who we would like to work with. And really look forward to working with Jeff and his operation. This has been approved by the Airport Commission as well for the land out there. And this has taken some time and work, but this resolution is in front of you, and I would appreciate that support this evening.
Okay. Did we lose RJ?
No, it's not showing up on the TV all of a sudden. change the view back up. All right, we're good to go. There you are.
Okay, so is there a motion for Resolution 2517?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Kroger, second by Bielenberg.
Roll call, Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Jeff.
Yep, appreciate it. Thank you very
Carla.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, you don't have to stay for the rest of the fun, so
Yeah.
see ya.
Yep, thank you.
Next up is review the Historical Preservation Downtown Upper Story Facade Grant Completion and Award Request for 911 7th Street in the amount of $12,000. I'm thinking, is that Jerry's?
James Sheehan.
James Sheehan. Oh, yeah, Jamie. Okay, yep. Yeah, that looks
506
looks
Market.
nice. They did a nice.
There were
Nice
pictures
improvement.
included in your packet.
Yep, he's got them up.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
This was the before, and then here's a couple of the after with all the new doors and storefronts. Actually, it's back to a lot of similarities what it was when it was a garage. So, did a nice job there.
It does look good.
Okay, yeah, looks really nice. Is there a motion to approve that?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Rudolph, second by Lindberg.
Roll call, Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Bielenberg.
Aye.
Lindberg.
Aye.
Rudolph.
Aye.
Thank you.
And we're moving on to the City Administrator's report. Are you up for a report, Gene, or?
Again, I apologize as I can't be there, just again, I've been under the weather with all the stuff going around. I would make just two comments, make it real brief this evening, and Mayor, you might be expanding on this one. That was the last page of your packet, and I'll pull it up here. This relates to, always looking for volunteers on boards, commissions, in committees. And Mayor, I believe, Mayor, you might speak to a little more about the opening on the HME board under your report. But this was the last page of your packet, and we'll be putting this on the City of Harlan social media. You can also stop in City Hall to express any interest. And again, always looking for volunteers on committees, commissions, and boards. And then the second item, the annual renewal for pet licenses or dog licenses is happening. We now have a new online system this year, and Angie Hanson, the office manager in the police department, has done a great job along with Julie Erickson, getting that to an online version with our permit system. Letters went out to all pet owners, and if you didn't get a letter, just a reminder, you need to get your pet license, and you can do that online through our online permitting, which is www.cityofharlan.com, or you can stop or call the police department. And that'll make it real short this evening, Mayor, unless you've got questions from me.
Looks like you're going to be able to ease into whatever you want to do the rest of your night. So thanks for joining us. I know it's no fun doing what you're doing. So then under my report, I would just mention we do have a member of the HMU board that is moving out of his area, or moving out of Harlan, Randy Reese, and his term would run through 11 of 25. So we, as this group, I need to nominate someone, but we are going to put that out as far as the application, fill it out. It has to be done this month, correct? So the next meeting we need to have a name. So if anyone's interested in putting their name in the hat, either stop by or get it online. It'll be online too, Jane, to fill that out and submit that. And I'd love to talk to you about maybe being part of the HME board. So.
Yeah, because we talked a little bit, Jane and I talked this afternoon a little bit about timing. Sounds like Randy's going to be here. He would be here for the December meeting. He didn't know maybe mid-January when he would leave, so we're not sure if he'd be here for the electronic meeting that we have the first or the second Thursday. But for sure he wouldn't be here for the fourth Thursday when we have our in-person board meeting. So I guess as far as approval, Mayor, it could be either your first meeting there on the 5th, right? Or
the last meeting.
Yeah, the last
20th, either one.
then-
Either this month or
Or the-
first
or
one
the
in
fifth.
January.
first one in January, it actually could be that second one in January too, because that'd still be ahead of our,
So will we put a deadline out there then? Will we say?
Joel was gonna do some checking and get back with me,
Okay.
and find out when they want that.
Want a name, you need a name by
Yeah.
a certain time. So
Yeah.
This depends on us, it'll be 2 weeks if we're gonna do it in December, it'll be 3 weeks, 3.5, 4 weeks if we do it the first part of January.
yeah, I'd say let's shoot for that first part of
First in
January.
January.
And give us
Okay.
January
time.
5th, okay.
Anybody
So we'll have about
should-
3 weeks or so. So,
So maybe like the Thursday before the meeting,
Yeah,
or a couple weeks, it depends on what your board wants to do.
wants to do, yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you just touch base with me tomorrow or the next day?
it'd be nice to have, if people are interested in doing it too, not that deadline, even like a week before.
Right.
So I can actually talk to them to kind of see.
Right.
Correct.
Right,
So-
and we did talk about that, so
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we did talk, maybe, you and I, and we get one of the trustees, maybe, just sit down and kind of discuss it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would offer if you look to Friday, January 6th, to make your release deadline for interest might be a wise date. Just
Okay.
offer that date, but
It's Friday, January 6th to have the application filled out by City Hall so I can look at it, Gene, is that what you're saying? And then so we wouldn't put it in front of council until, is there a meeting?
the
Chris?
17th,
Until
the
the
17th.
Which would be
Okay.
good, yeah.
And I was just looking at the calendar here and
because we have a meeting on the 3rd and the 17th.
Third,
3rd and 17th.
not the 6th, the 3rd, okay.
Yeah.
It was 6th is a
So we
Friday.
have it by the 6th, and then we would have a name to you by the 17th then, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'd have a name that night, the 17th, we would nominate someone. And then
Correct.
Your meeting is when then, Joe?
The 20th.
So that you'd have someone by that meeting, by your last meeting?
Thursday, yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I have under my report. We'll move on to Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Todd Beleen.
Good evening, everyone. So as we are all aware, it's the holiday season, so happy holidays to everyone. Just a reminder, this Thursday from 5 to 7 at the Shelby County Historical Museum, we'll be doing Santa in the Cabins. So we'll have Santa over there for the kids to take pictures with, and then they also have a lot of different events planned. It's usually a great night to stop by. The Adopt a Family program through West Central, again, we're going to be partnering with them. So on Thursday, December 15th, if you've adopted a family, bring your stuff out to the chamber office between 8 and 4 and drop it off. And then on Friday, December 16th, the families that were adopted will be coming by to pick up what was left of them. We do have also an ambassador visit on the 16th. It's going to be a really good one. It's at 10 in the morning. It's at Harlan Veterinary Associates, and it's to thank Dr. Matt Sternberg for all the great work he's done as our vet here in Harlan, but he is moving on. And we can welcome Dr. Kristen Westergaard Blatt, who has purchased Harlan Vet, and she'll be our new small animal vet. So again, that's on the Friday the 16th at 10 a.m. We do have the Shop and Win promotion back. So this is something we started during COVID, and it was just so popular. We've brought it back the last couple of years. So here within Shelby County, there are chamber businesses that are participating. Most of them are service businesses, retails, restaurant. You'll see a sign in their window that says, "Let's keep the cheer here." And with those businesses between the 5th and the 21st, every $25 you spend with them, you'll be given one raffle ticket. And then on January 2nd, we will draw from those raffle tickets. First prize will be $500 in chamber gift certificates. Second prize will be $200, and third prize is $100. But the whole idea is, of course, buy those gifts, buy those items here in Shelby County, and then you may win some chamber gift certificates on top. And then finally, a reminder that we also still have the discounted gift certificates through the chamber because of our partnership with Shelby County State Bank. And so what happens there is when you come in by any denomination of gift certificates, and you'll receive 10% off courtesy of Shelby County State Bank. Then finally, if you haven't been out on our Facebook or YouTube page recently, we shot a video back during Harvest Fest, a promotional video for Harlan and for Shelby County overall. And we did it in a long version and a short version. And then we've been running those two versions through social media over, basically the last 5 to 6 weeks. And just a quick report, that long version has had 20,000 views. 14,300 people have watched it all the way through, and 3,925 people have engaged with the video. So they either shared it, or we have kind of a, if you want to learn more, click here, and it takes them to the chamber website. Then a short version has had 26,000 views. Again, another 14,000 playthroughs and 2,500 engagements. So we picked up, 6,500 engagements over that 4 or 5 weeks with this information. And the real target has been young families in the Council Bluffs and Omaha market, trying to show them, that you can be in Shelby County, be 5 minutes from everything that you need in life, and then you can still work in Council Bluffs and Omaha, but you don't have to plan an extra hour every day to get to daycare, get to school and all that, in addition to trying to get to your job. So we'll keep doing these promotions, and hopefully, we're just trying to get our head just a little bit above the crowd of, hey, look over here, we got some pretty cool things going on. So that's it.
Excellent.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
HMU, Joe Ruschenberg.
And I was wrong on that date, too. I think I said the 27th.
Yeah, it's the 26th.
January 26th.
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't going to correct you. I was going to wait too.
Yeah.
No, but yes. I have it.
I just got a few items. Update on our water project. We're trying to move ahead with plans there. Looking at trying to get that to a point to where we'll be sending bids out, or sending plans out for bid probably end of January, with a bid date towards the end of February. And then we'd be looking at possible construction starting, end of March, first part of April, hopefully, on that project. So at least hopefully we'll get some wells in the ground here next season. We are going to have a longer, I think, just because of some lead time though, it'll probably be about a 1.5 to 2 year completion on it, just for the fact of, like we know with equipment, so forth. I think the contract or the engineers worried about like the VFDs, the variable drives for the wells. They're saying, that equipment, once it's ordered, could be about 12 to 14 months out. So that's what's going to kind of strap us. I mean, maybe we can get a lot of the pipe work in the ground and get the wells at least in place, but as far as the electrical part of it, that might be the thing that's going to hold us back a little bit. But it's all, engineer also mentioned too, he's starting to see a little bit more of that kind of loosening up a little bit, to where those wait times are getting shorter. So maybe we've hit that peak and things are starting to come down towards the normal. I don't think it'll ever get back to normal, but at least maybe we'll approach it coming back to somewhat normal. Been working with Jane on trying to locate abstracts for the property owned or occupied by HMU. Part of our funding, the loan with USDA, a requirement is that we have to have a title opinion on not just the property that we're affecting with this water project, all the property that has water facilities on them. So we gotta have title opinions on the property where the clear well sits, where the water plant sits, all the well fields, and then both towers too. So we're trying to work through that and try to get that moving forward, so we're ready with that, because they won't allow us to bid until we have those title opinions done. So we're working hard to try to get that done by the end of January also. Oh, last thing I have is just another plug in for it mentioned at the last meeting for our customer celebration, Soup and Santa. Be next Tuesday, 11 to 2 at the Vets. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Joe?
How, I know you put some stuff out there, excuse me, for bid. Is that still open or going, or your trailers or that stuff from the old building?
Yeah, actually, that got, we had it out there, and I think there's 3 people that turned bids in. Actually, 2 of them were HMU employees, and then actually an ex-employee. I think we had a few people just of the public
Inquire.
come down and at least look. Nobody turned any bids in, so that is, I think we opened those up Friday. So we've been through that process already. I mean, we got...
Yeah, I seen that with the pictures and stuff. I
Yeah,
was
didn't get a
curious.
ton, I guess, didn't get a ton of money for it, but at least we got something and, got things cleaned up. So.
I gotta give you a shout out. I seen that video of, I guess what I would think of as galloping lines, the power lines. I think you guys.
Yeah.
I'm just really surprised that those poles and stuff can. I mean, you figure if that's going on quite a ways, that's got to be quite a tremendous amount of force to not want to have one of those snap off.
Last Tuesday, right, with that?
Yeah, that weather that came through there, and you always hear galloping lines, but when I think one of your employees or somebody put that on there, right on your page to show how much that power line, when it gets to
And it
galloping.
said it was that kind of that straight north wind was that coming hard enough, it was affecting just our east-west lines.
Well, and you wouldn't think it, and you wonder, power's flickering. I mean, you're getting a foot and a half of play on quite a line. That'd be quite, so that's...
And it's kind of...
It's interesting when you put something like that in perspective, you hear it, but when you actually see it, that's quite something.
And a lot of times it seems like that it happens too, if there's a little bit of ice too. I mean, for some reason that ice gets on there and that just...
Weights.
Yeah, kind of starts that effect. But we lucked out, that we didn't really, nothing broke. I mean, but like you said, they got close enough to where there was some flickering, of power. Nothing ever went completely out, but we did notice it down in our office there too, a couple times in the morning there. Lights flickered a little bit.
That's all I had.
Joe, could you repeat that date for the Santa, Soup and Santa?
Tuesday, the 13th.
13th, thank you.
Yep, 11 to 2.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we hope we have a good turnout.
Yeah.
You miss Claus?
No.
Thanks, Joe.
You bet, thank you.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from the council? Any good, bad?
Stay healthy.
Yeah. Good to see Kyle's back. Gina's back. I don't think she's ill, but she's back. Yeah, it is that time of the year. So, all right, nothing else. I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gene.
Good night.